Hey everyone, this is Sally from Outdoor Rhythm. Today I wanted to show you the Propex PS2000 heater. We camp a lot with our family of 6, even through the winter. Right now it's January in Northern California, and last night the temperatures got in the upper 30s, and we've always been looking for ways to heat up our tent to make sure our kids especially stay warm. We've tried the Mr. Heater Buddy, which does a good job, but does have quite a bit of condensation. There's also an open flame, which when camping with kids can feel just a little precarious with the open flame, even though there is some tip over safety things and there's a grid in front of it. Still an open flame if a kid kicks over a blanket or something like that. So that was another one of the concerns. And we always ended up feeling just slightly lightheaded or just off in the mornings, even though we had a carbon monoxide monitor and we tried to be really careful about ventilation. So we started looking for other options, and we, let's see, what else have we tried? We have tried the New Way tent, or the New Way heater, which we created a separate video about, which kicks off a lot of heat, but also takes up a lot of space, both in packing and in terms of space in your tent, because it does need quite a bit of like a perimeter around it, because the heater itself gets really hot. And then we ended up building our own Propex with just buying all the pieces and making ourselves, and I'll show you that a little bit later. But just a couple months ago, Propex actually came out with a suitcase version, an all-in-one version of their heater, and we used it for the first time last night, and it's amazing. It's so well built. The heat, it's great. It's clean, dry heat. So I'm going to just take you through some of the pieces and let you know what we love about it, and then also show you the one that we built ourselves so you can see the difference. So I'll start with just showing you how it works in general. So there is an intake right here for the cool air, and that goes into the sealed combustion. And with the propane coming in, the combustion starts, and then the exhaust comes out on the other side. So cool air into the combustion, and the bad air out on the exhaust out on this side. Then separately, so in this you'll see this is where the propane comes in, and there's this great cover that goes on it, and it easily pushes in. So that is, again, very well made. And then separately, the cool air comes in on this side, and that goes over the sealed combustion. So the airs never mix with each other. So the cool air goes into the combustion, the exhaust comes out, and then there's fresh cool air that comes over the sealed box and then comes back out. So you get into your tent. So you get clean, dry air that has not at all been mixed with any of the combustion fumes. And so you get, again, clean, dry air that will cut down on condensation in your tent and will give you a nice, warm environment to sleep in or just hang out in. We have found that it raises the temperature about 20 degrees. So last night it got in the upper 30s, so we were able to heat the tent to the upper 50s, and that worked out well for us. It does come with, or actually we purchased the battery separately. It does require a 12-volt battery. We just bought this off of Amazon. It's a standard CPAP battery, and as you can see, this is so just thoughtfully made. It just slides right in. The 12-volt goes in here. This provides you with 266 watt hours, and the heater uses 24. So that means you'll get about 11 hours of use, which for us ends up being about one night, given that we heat up the tent in advance. The kids tend to kind of hang out in the tent for a little bit and then through the night. So what we ended up doing, there is a second power option right here, and we actually ended up connecting it to the lithium battery in our trailer. So there's another option though, but if you have, say, like a Jackery 1000 battery, you could hook it up to that, and that will take you through your trip depending on how long you're going to be out. So you can kind of do the math on that, but that's how long this particular battery lasts. We love that it plugs right in. Another great feature is the fuse. They actually inserted it right here on the top. It's really important that you plug in your thermostat before you plug in your power. Otherwise, the power will kind of flood in, and it will set off the fuse. So then you would have to replace it. But it's a standard fuse, and it's very accessible right here. So if you do, by any chance, forget to plug in your thermostat first, there is that option. The other fuel source, obviously, is the propane. We have found that 1 pound of propane will get you about 3 hours of heat. So we used a 10-pounder during our trip here, and so that takes us over 3 nights. So depending on how often you think the heat will come on. So for instance, we set our thermostat to about 60. The temperatures were in the high 30s. I mentioned earlier that it only takes you about 20 degrees up. So in order for our tent to stay near 60, 58 to 60, the heater was actually on all night. So again, that's why we had to charge the battery, and that took us to about a third of this. And so we can use a 10-pounder for about 3 nights. So you can do the math again, depending on the temperature you're going to be in, how much propane you want to bring, your own battery or power sources, and you can kind of figure out what would work for. But that's just a ballpark from our own experience. So again, we get about 11 hours from this battery, which is a 266 watt-hour battery, and you get about 3 hours from a 1 pound propane tank, and then you can multiply that out. So this is, again, very well made. Everything seems to have been 3D printed, so it just fits in. I'll show you real quick. It pops out really easily, pops in, and it's all them. They also come with these 3D printed covers, so when you do pop it out and you're going to store it, it's just really nicely made. The battery fits right in, and because they added this small platform, there's enough where you can actually store all the hoses in here. So this box is literally all you need to pack, which is fantastic and works really great for us. I'll take you inside real quick and show you the thermostat that it comes with. And then after that, I'll show you the one that we built ourselves. So our thermostat, you'll see that it was plugged in right there, and then we just put it through one of the zipper openings in the tent. So the zipper opening is right here, and we just have it coming up. And we just hung it here. It's really easy to use. You press the flames, turn it on, up and down to regulate the temperature. And then if there's any need to reset it, the old one, actually, you had to use one of those little pins to push in. Now they have just a standard button, which is great. So in the dark, you're not looking for a pin. You don't have to tape it to the back or anything. There is a reset button right there that is just a standard button. So very well made. Comes with this cord and a carabiner clip, so you can really easily choose where to hang it, and that works out really great for us. Okay, and now we'll take you around to our other tent and show you the one that we built ourselves. So last night we ran both all night. They worked great. This one is just much easier because it is all pre-built for you. Okay, so you'll see that this is a similar Pelican case. It likewise has the input for the propane. It has the exhaust and the intake on this side for the air that goes in and out of the sealed combustion. And then this is actually a different battery than the one that's in the suitcase version, but you'll see a lot of the same components. So again, we have the thermostat on one, we have the power on the other, we have these hoses that we've put in that then need to be clipped in because they're not 3D printed. We did have to, so the extended platform that they used in the suitcase allows them to have these tubes on the bottom. So we had to put them here. So that means we have to pack everything separate. So it's this case, which is slightly larger than theirs, plus a bag where we keep all the tubing and the connection points. So it works great. Like we, again, used it last night and it works great. It's just, you know, if you're going to spend $1,700 to make this on your own and solder it and all of that, you could purchase the other one for just under $2,000. So it kind of depends if you feel like making your own, but we do really like the Propex one. Let us know in the comments if you really want to know how we made this, because we can write that all up and show you a video of how we did this particular thing. But we do want to recommend the Propex suitcase all-in-one since they just came out with it a couple months ago, and it works great and it's very well made and spacious on the inside too. So you really have it all in one. All right, well, I think that's it for the heaters. If you have any questions, definitely drop them in the comments. I think, and always check us out on outdoorrhythm.com, where we have more tips and campground maps and all sorts of things to get you and your family out camping.